for being with us here, Dan. Now, firstly, can you just tell us sort of where you come from, where do you train geographically, and the team that you fight out of?
Yeah, I'm from Cheshunt. I train SVJ, MMA, and we train at Monster Gym in Cheshunt.
Oh, right, lovely, beautiful. And how long have you been doing MMA now, and how did you sort of first get into the sport?
On and off, I've been doing it about 5 years.
Yeah.
And only recently, probably I'd say about 3 years. And I think when I first started getting into it, it was because Never Back Down come out of the cinema. Honestly, and there's people handing out flyers for the gym outside it. Like, it's a brilliant way to do it.
So was it sort of the first couple of years just as a bit of a hobby, and then you started really taking it?
Off,
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And what did your family think of you when you know, the first time you said?
That's absolutely mad. My mum still refuses to watch or listen to my fights.
Really?
Yeah,
is it just too much for her? Is it?
Yeah.
Well, who would you say is your biggest supporter within your family? Who's the one?
Probably my dad or my sister.
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah, I think my dad almost has a heart attack every fight. My sister, I'd say, is more supportive.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And when you are fighting, I mean, what is it that inspires you to fight? What is it that makes you want to fight? Is it
just to get better?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I think my biggest goal is just to see how far I can take it. It's addictive.
It's self-motivated.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, you know, what is your primary sort of martial arts background? Did you just start following into MMA, or did you have a background?
I've done karate as a kid.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 15, 16, I sort of discovered drinking now, so I stopped. And
as many do.
Yeah, and then my early 20s, yeah, as I say, I just started again and fell in love with it.
Yeah, so just it was going from doing a little bit of martial arts younger and then full into MMA when you picked
it definitely helped with karate when I was young, because I did do it for a while actually.
Okay, no problem. And what would you say, is there anything you do to prepare yourself mentally for a fight? Is there anything in particular that you'd say you do?
I'd say it changes every fight, yeah. I usually have an ice bath the night before the fight. I think if I can get over that, I can get through the fight. But yeah, nothing specific.
No, that's fair enough. And with yourself now, you know that certain fighters have certain things to look out for, like Uriah Faber has a guillotine, Anderson Silva the front kick. Would you say there's anything in particular that we'd want to watch out from you? Is there a particular favourite thing that you like to throw, or that you do particularly well?
I like my stand-up and I like my head kicks.
Yeah.
But lately, it seems like the triangle seems to be showing itself a lot.
So you're either going to kick their head off or watch out for a deep triangle. Lovely. Well, those are two things to look forward to, without a doubt, anyway. What would you say your average weight is off-season? I mean, do you have to cut much to fight? Or
I have to put on weight.
You have to put on weight?
Yeah,
fair enough.
I'm walking around probably around 75 at the moment.
All right, fair enough. So that's good. So now, say in about 5 years' time, where would you think you see yourself as a fighter? Where would you like to sort of go?
I'd like to be professional. I'd like to be fighting at the highest level I possibly can.
Is there
Sky's the limit.
any places in particular that you may have
UFC is obviously got UFC is obviously everyone's dream.
What would you think of any of the sort of pro-British promotions? Were there any that sort of capture your interest there?
Cage Warriors, Bama. Yeah, I'd like to just
see where you can go, basically. That's fantastic. Well, so obviously you're 6-1 at the moment, you said. Which of the victories in your career meant the most to you, and sort of why?
I'd say probably my last one. Tom Kenny was my latest fight, and he'd had the most fights and the most experience. And I'd say the more I'd seen most of these fights, and I was impressed. I thought it was going to be a very good fight, and it meant a lot to finish him at least.
Yeah. How did you finish that fight?
Triangle.
Second round triangle. Well, there it is. So obviously, you know, that's a bit more proof in the pudding there anyway. Well, now obviously going on to the tournaments with fighting the international fighters and everything. I mean, is there much difference in your training and your tactics going into fighting sort of international fighters as you would do locals, like with Americans? You expect them to be more wrestling heavy and things like that.
I think because they're American, I think you've got to expect more wrestling. But just trying to implement my game plan.
Yeah.
Like, go out there and
worry more about what you're doing than what they're doing.
I mean, obviously you've got to be aware of it because he's American. I imagine he's going to shoot on me, but I'm just going to try and punch him.
Yeah. And at least you've got the triangle if he does get you down anyway. So, right. Well, you know, what do you know of? Do you know much of your opponents going into the tournament?
I've seen a couple of videos on him.
Yeah.
I need to do a bit more research.
Yeah. Just little bits and bobs.
Seems alright. Yeah. Nothing I haven't seen before.
Ah, that's fantastic. Well, I mean, obviously, is there anything you'd like to say to friends, family? Is there anything any people you'd like to sort of shout out or thank for supporting you in particular?
Yeah, shout out to all my friends and family who've come to all the fights because we travel quite far to fight. So all the guys have come out, come to me, so massive shout out to them, thank you.
No, that's brilliant. Well, just a couple of little silly questions at the end. I mean, to be honest, this one was not going to apply to you as much, but your favourite cheat meal, but being that you have to put on weight, it doesn't really apply quite as well. But
kebab probably. Kebab.
Good old Donna. Yeah, and another one just for the fans. Batman and Superman is currently being produced in the cinema. Who wins and how?
I can't see how Batman could
Yeah, I think that's a pretty clear-cut one as well. No, that's brilliant, mate. No, thank you very much. No, thanks very much, mate.